just wanted to go through the 3590 from Dini Argeo, just the basic AF03 weighbridge software. It is just the weigh in, weigh out software. So your first screen, if we're just using a touch screen, will just be this section here. Various other models may have a keypad on it. The rest of the screen here is if we do a printout, you'll see the data came down here, and here is just some controls for weight simulation, input, outputs, and things like that. So we'll be focusing on here. The main screen, when you switch on, will come up to the screen, which has some data entry fields available. All these fields here can either be free entry or can be related to a database. The screen on top here is our main weight reading. The capacity of our scale, which is 80 ton, 80,000 kilograms, with an increment of 50. So if I move my little load cell simulator up here, you will see the weight come up on the screen, and you can see it's going in 50 kilo increments. Over here, it just tells us a scale A. If we had multiple scales, it would be A, B, C, whatever. That one there is telling us that there's power on the scale, and our time over here. If we click on the time block, it brings us to the date and time setting, so we can change the date and time there. If we click on this main weight display, it'll just make it larger, so you can see it from the other side of the office or something if you're just sitting waiting. If you click again, it takes it back to its normal screen. As I said, all these fields are free entry, so if you wanted to weigh something, you could enter a tear weight of a truck. So if the truck's tear was 2 ton, and then whatever you weighed, it would calculate the net weight on that. Customer, supplier, material, and vehicle can all be in databases. Free plate is a free entry, so you can just type in any rego you want. This is just the information screen that's going on, so execute first or second weighing. This here is your 0 buttons, so if our scale was close to 0, say it had a buildup of rain or mud or something on it, you can push that 0 button, either one of them, and it will bring it back to 0. Typically on trade scales, that 0 amount is 2% of the scale capacity. To set any of these databases, you've got the buttons along the bottom, first weight, second weight, simple printout. If you click on this next here, it takes us to the database editing screen. So you can enter customers, suppliers, materials, vehicles, there's some input text you can change, and then there's a menu for setting up other parameters. If you select the customers, it'll give you a list of what's in there. If you select one customer, it'll tell you the details in there, and you can edit those details or delete the whole lot. Once you're done, you press escape, and it'll take you back to the screen. It's the same for suppliers, do the same options, materials, very similar. Vehicles, very similar. The only difference here is you can allocate a tear weight to a vehicle. So if you're just using vehicles where you know the tear weight is, if you're in a quarry running trucks out of the quarry to the sand pile or whatever, you can just use a fixed tear in there. You don't have to do a first weighing every time. In Australia, for legal for trade purposes, you can't use fixed tears. Okay, so at our main screen, we'll just get back to that. There's our first main screen. So if we click on one way, it's going to say no vehicle selected. Okay. So we can click in the vehicle box. It'll take us to any stored vehicles will be listed here. And if we click on temporary, you can just type in a temporary rego that we're doing now. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we don't really have to enter anything in there. Now it tells us in the vehicle screen, that's the rego there. Okay. There's no weight at the moment, so we'll just use our simulator to bring up a weight. So this truck would weigh 53 tons. Click on first weight again, weighs it, here's the little print icon come up here, and below is just a simulation of what would come out on your printer. So the heading, the plate is the registration, some space here for notes and things, and the customer, supplier, material, which we didn't select any, vehicle rego, scale A, the date, time, the progressive is the ticket number, so 23, and his first weight was 53,400 kg. We can clear that. If we go to the second weight, well, first of all, if we click second weight, it'll give you a list of all the trucks that are in there. If you click that one, which is the one we just weighed, it'll say no, zero, cross, or instability. That means that the truck hasn't left the weigh bridge yet, so we can't re-weigh the same truck without us seeing either some weight instability or the bridge come back to zero, depending on how it's set up. So we'll just take it back to zero, and then put it back on to get some weight. Now, because we selected that truck, it tells us our first weight was 53,400, our second weight is 42, and our net difference is 11,400. Okay, we can at this point put some notes in if you want. So if we type in a delivery note, del note 1, 2, 3, and maybe a driver's name. Fred always drives on trucks. We can select a customer. We can select a supplier if you want to. A material. We can either use a material from the database, or we can click on temporary and just enter whatever material it is. Okay, so now we've filled up all our fields. If we say OK, it'll store the weighing and print out all the information. So we've got the headings, plate information, the notes, the delivery note, driver name, the customer selected from the database, the supplier, the material which we entered manually, the vehicle rego, scale A, first weight, second weight, and the net. If you wanted to print another copy, just press copy and it will print another copy of that ticket. The only difference being it will say copy on the ticket. Yeah, at the bottom it just prints copy. Once you've completed, click escape. It says unload the scale because it sees the truck still isn't left. So if I just click on 0, it'll note the truck is gone. I'm below 0 again, so I can click my 0 button. And then it's asking to load the scale. That is the basic operation of the 3590 AFO3.